The FIA has banned the display of political, religious, or personal statements being made by drivers without permission. A few have commented on this already, but now Lewis Hamilton has talked to the New York Times in what we expect is a retaliation to this new regulation. This is F1F4.com. I'm Alex. Let's talk about it. A new rule has been added to the International Sporting Code, and yeah, it's caused a few hiccups for the FIA. It says that the driver must get consent before making a political, religious, and personal statement or comment. And this isn't just limited to F1, it covers all motorsports, from rallying to karting to the British Touring Car Championship. It's huge. As you know, if you've been watching F1 for any amount of years, you know that there are a few drivers who like to make a political statement. They love to stand by what they believe in. Hamilton has been very vocal about the Black Lives Matter movement, anti-discrimination movements. So has Sebastian Vettel. Obviously now he's retired, but he was very pro Black Lives Matter as well, and anything for the environment. But now this freedom has been given to the FIA, and I think this might be a little bit of a dangerous movement. There are, as always, arguments on both sides. McLaren CEO Zach Brown said the following. He told ESPN, "It's tricky, right? Because some of the topics are really good, some are controversial, some are polarizing. I think in general we want to be a sport that is doing good. We just need to find a balance there and not have any start of a race being a new political agenda for someone. I don't think that's healthy, as it can detract from what everyone has tuned into, which is they want to watch a Grand Prix. I'm glad the door is open for drivers and teams to talk to the FIA if there's an issue they want to discuss. It wasn't a, you can't do it, it was, you can't do it without our permission, so at least the door is open. Everyone is allowed freedom of speech. It did get out of control at times with so much messaging going on. Does it detract from the focus of the sport? These drivers can do this stuff in their own time, so I think it's within Formula One and the FIA's right to say, here's a code of conduct we expect for you to follow during a Grand Prix weekend. You're free to do whatever you want to do Monday through Friday, so to speak, but obviously it's a Grand Prix weekend. The drivers have the most cameras on them." He tried to give a reason behind the FIA's change of heart. He said, "Politics is tricky by nature. That's what they're probably, at a macro level, trying to avoid, is let's not have Formula One become a political hotbed for various topics. But it is damned if you do and damned if you don't on some of these topics." Yeah, he's completely right. The FIA is obviously taking a step back purely from a let's just not get involved point of view. I think they're taking a bit of the easy road. And you know, whether that's the right thing or the wrong thing, it's not for me to say. It's for the drivers and the teams to talk to the FIA about. Not just F1 as well, you know, other sports too. But now, talking to the New York Times, Hamilton has actually come out and he's talking about the barriers within the sport, which I do believe he is referring to this new regulation. He said, "There are still so many barriers still in place. Hopefully it's not going to be like this for much longer, but it's just sad to see we're still finding those things today. If I don't have these conversations with people, if I don't bring up these difficult conversations, they won't necessarily get discussed or tackled, or energy from organizations won't necessarily be put into creating more inclusivity, spending the time having those conversations and what it means and how positive it could be for everybody. It takes time. It's a constant job to have them. I've definitely seen so much growth within myself over several years now, but 2020 was hugely impactful in terms of my spirit and how strong and empowered I felt to stand up and be outspoken. Regardless of what the outcome would be in terms of if you have people unhappy, just knowing that things needed to be said, needed to be done because there are so many people struggling. I would rather not race again and have done that and spoken out for people than continue to do what I was doing." So I do wonder if Hamilton's giving a little kind of a secret message to the FIA saying, you know, if this does go through and this continues, having to get permission to make a political statement or whatever, that, you know, he may think about retiring. Obviously, the conversation around his retirement has been crazy recently with... Obviously, the conversation around him retiring has been insane recently, with 2022 not being his best season. But I do think that the FIA realizes, or rather the F1 realizes, that Hamilton is a huge part of the sport. And I think a lot of viewers, regardless of what people say on Twitter, I think a lot of viewers are watching him. So whether this will have an effect, I don't know. I think the FIA is just being safe. I'm really interested to know what you think. So let me know down in the comments. If you like these kind of videos, like and subscribe. We'll be doing this a lot more going forward. If you want to know more about F1, we cover it every day at f1fall.com. We've got Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, all F1Fall official. Or find us on TikTok. Why not? F1Fall on TikTok. We're around, we're doing stuff. See you in the next video.